pick.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Negotiate.
800 bucks. 900. 850.
Close.
Are we doing it? It's a deal.
All right, score.
Flying across the field feeling like that guy did in 1937.
They're the masters of the art of picking.
That's the kind of stuff you dream about.
Most of the time.
I'm gonna give you $600. Nope.
American.
Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel that I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's time to stand up in today's American Pickers. Despite the fact much was made about a feud between American Pickers team and Frank Fritz, Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby spent time with the former reality star before his death at 60. The history star passed away nearly 2 years after a stroke had left him under the care of a guardianship, but he'd left behind a slew of fans within the television community, and he'd reportedly reconnected with his co-stars before his death. Pickers organizer and office manager Danielle Colby was recently asked about missing Fritz in an interview and mostly harped on his sharp sense of humor, calling it the important piece of his personality throughout his life. It was clear they missed their former co-star. He wasn't just funny, either. From the sounds of things, Fritz could be very personable and could be very honest and open with the people he loved most in a way Colby calls vulnerable. He loved picking more than most other things, and before his death fans wondered if he would get back into the game again. Unfortunately, after a stroke in 2022, that was no longer possible. But it's worth mentioning the reality star left behind some strong memories and impressions. Colby told Newsweek more about what the hardest part about no longer having Frank around has been, noting, "Fritz passed away in October of 2024, which means we are approaching the 1-year anniversary of his passing. It's a huge loss for those he made an impact on." Earlier this year, Mike Wolfe also reflected on his longtime co-star's death, noting it had been a rough few months for himself and his work family, and writing that he was trying to keep up the good vibes. Time passes quickly. It's hard to believe it's already been nearly a year since Frank Fritz left us. It's been 4 years since the reality star was fired from American Pickers, though not by his own choice, and a new amalgamation of the show on history was born. Life is complicated, but it's clear from Colby and Company's comments that the former reality star left an indelible mark on them, both from a personal and professional standpoint. American Pickers star Frank Fritz's final days have been revealed before his sad passing 2 years after suffering a debilitating stroke. Frank passed away on Monday, September 30th at age 60 with loved ones, including American Pickers co-star Mike Wolfe, by his side. In the weeks leading up to Frank's passing, he continued to suffer from complications from the July 2022 stroke. A source exclusively told the U.S. Sun, "He has been bad since the stroke, and he had been getting worse. He was unable to move the right side of his body. He needed 24-hour care. There was no way he was getting better. He was in a home." In August 2022, Frank's close friends filed a conservatorship after his stroke a month prior. In July 2024, conservator Midwest One demanded Frank's finances be transferred to them, as the star needed skilled and long-term nursing care at the time. Health crisis. The passing comes 2 years after Frank suffered a stroke in his Iowa home in July 2022. Frank was unable to recover from the stroke fully, as he was rushed to the hospital 4 times in 2022 and 2023 for pneumonia and a seizure. He was left wheelchair-bound and a ramp was installed outside of his Iowa farmhouse, though he wasn't there for long before going to a rehabilitation center. He can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances, a source previously told the U.S. Sun in August 2023. Basically, you lose motion. He lost motion. A stroke can affect your left or your right side. It affected his right side. But the insider insisted Frank never lost his lovable personality, as the source said at the time. "He's the same old Frank. He has a good attitude and a great sense of humor. We crack jokes all the time. You gotta make the best of a situation," so he's come to terms with all of that. His mind is right, he's a happy guy, and his sense of humor is there. Conservatorship. Frank's close friends filed for a conservatorship and guardianship for him in August 2022. Midwest One Bank acted as Frank's conservator, while his close friend Chris Davis served as his guardian. Because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care without which physical injury or illness may occur, documents obtained by the U.S. Sun read. Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. Decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. The appointment of a guardian and conservator was deemed necessary to avoid immediate harm to him. Mike announced Frank's passing on Tuesday morning with an Instagram post that read, "It's with a broken heart that I share with all of you that Frank passed away last night. I've known Frank for more than half my life, and what you've seen on TV has always been what I have seen, a dreamer who is just as sensitive as he was funny." The same off-camera as he was on, Frank had a way of reaching the hearts of so many by just being himself. Who would have ever dreamed we would share the cockpit of a white cargo van in front of millions of people interested in our adventures? Before the show, we would take off together to places we never knew existed with no destination in mind, and just the shared passion to discover something interesting and historic. The tributes also came pouring in from fans and more co-stars, including Danielle Colby. She wrote, "Frank, I will miss your ability to make everyone laugh, your love for talking tattoos, your epic collections, but what I will miss the most are those little glimpses of vulnerability from time to time. Frank, you loved your cat and your mama, and we bonded on those things. You will be missed for all of these reasons, and so many more. Rest in peace, Road Dog." Robbie Wolfe, who replaced Frank on American Pickers, shared, "It's with a heavy heart I'm sad to say my friend Frank Fritz has passed away last night. You all knew him from TV, but I knew him from traveling, fishing, and family. He was the godfather to my twin girls. His smile was contagious, and his laughter will be missed. Most of all, just time sitting in a fishing boat talking about life. I know you're in a better place. Love you, buddy. Hope you catch the big one. Until we see each other in heaven, hold the boat steady." Saying goodbye. Frank's guardian previously told the U.S. Sun of funeral plans for the late History Channel star. "There will be a celebration of life in the future. It will be big. Fans can attend. We already have several bands who want to play in it, including my band. This will probably take place in the spring." Chris added of his close friend, "I will say Frank loved his fans, and he passed away peacefully with friends at his side." Reality star. Frank appeared on American Pickers from 2010 to 2020. For years, Frank Fritz was a beloved face on American Pickers, the History Channel's hit reality show where he and co-star Mike Wolfe traveled across America in search of rare antiques and hidden treasures. With his signature bandana, sharp eye for valuable finds, and easygoing charm, Fritz became a fan favorite. But behind the scenes, his life took a devastating turn, one marked by health crises, isolation, and a heartbreaking decline that left him unable to move his body and dependent on round-the-clock care. A star's rise and sudden fall. Frank Fritz's journey began in Davenport, Iowa, where his passion for collecting oddities and antiques eventually led him to television stardom. Premiering in 2010, American Pickers became an instant hit, showcasing Fritz's expertise in spotting valuable items and his friendly rapport with sellers. For over a decade, he and Wolfe built a loyal fan base, turning the show into one of History Channel's most successful programs. But in 2020, Fritz's life began unraveling. He was abruptly fired from American Pickers, a decision that shocked fans and left Fritz devastated. Reports suggested tensions between him and Wolfe had grown, but Fritz later revealed he felt blindsided by the dismissal. Worse yet, his health was deteriorating. A body betrayed. Fritz's health collapses. In July 2022, Fritz suffered a massive stroke that left him hospitalized and fighting for his life. The stroke caused severe damage, robbing him of his mobility and independence. Close friends and family revealed that Fritz was left unable to walk, struggling to speak, and required 24/7 medical care. His condition only worsened from there. Sources close to Fritz described his final days as agonizing. Once a vibrant, energetic man who thrived on the thrill of the hunt, he was now confined to a bed, unable to move his body without assistance. The man who once traveled the country, bargaining for rare motorcycles and vintage signs, could no longer perform even the most basic tasks. Abandoned and alone? The painful isolation. Perhaps even more heartbreaking than his physical decline was the emotional toll Fritz endured. Despite his years on television and the millions of fans who adored him, Fritz reportedly spent his final days feeling abandoned. Mike Wolfe, his longtime co-star and once close friend, had publicly wished Fritz well after his stroke, but insiders claimed there was little direct support. Fritz's family and a small circle of loyal friends became his primary caregivers, but the absence of others he once considered close left him deeply hurt. Frank felt forgotten, a source revealed. He gave so much to the show, to the fans, and in the end, he was just alone. A legacy overshadowed by suffering. Frank Fritz passed away in insert date if available, leaving behind a legacy of laughter, adventure, and an undeniable impact on the world of antique hunting. Yet, his final chapter was one of immense suffering, both physically and emotionally. Fans have since mourned the loss of the charismatic picker, remembering him for his wit, his eye for treasures, and the joy he brought to television screens for over a decade. But his tragic final days serve as a somber reminder of how quickly life can change, and how fame offers no shield against pain. In the end, Frank Fritz's story wasn't just about the antiques he collected, but about the cruel twist of fate that left him unable to enjoy the very things he spent a lifetime chasing. Rest in peace, Frank. You were one of the greats.